Lolita disappointed us. We were hoping for a bounce back from Taito, but this punk figure was another questionable release that also caught some flack. Hi everyone, welcome back to the Solaris Japan channel. It's Mandy back here with you again. Today we're continuing our Hatsune Miku fashion figure series. We've already gone over subculture, sporty, uniform, and Lolita, so make sure to check out those videos if you haven't seen them already. Today's video is about the 5th release in this line. Let's take a closer look at this figure and ask, is this Miku really punk enough? Short answer, not really. It doesn't really hit the mark on what traditional punk is supposed to look like. But speaking of, what is punk all about? To put it simply, punk is messy, it's controversial, it's loud, it's meaningful. It first started out in the mid-1970s in the UK and the US. It was more than just a fashion statement though, it was a full-on movement. It was a rebellion against social norms, a rejection of mainstream consumer culture. The fashion was heavily DIY and featured key elements like distressing, spikes, stud, and leather. And it wasn't just clothing. Bold hair, makeup, and accessories emphasized rebellion and individualism. Because it was a critique on norms and standards, there was often a gritty, messy quality to the style, further brought on by various modifications. And of course, iconic fashion designer Vivienne Westwood was a pioneer in defining the punk look. And through her London boutique, brought the punk style into the spotlight. Legendary musical artists like Sex Pistols and The Clash helped define the attitude. When punk fashion made its way to Japan, it gradually integrated itself and adapted with the local street style. Japanese youth in the late 90s, early 2000s began incorporating punk elements into their looks, often mixing them with kawaii pieces. Popular shoujo manga Nana was a huge influence on young fans and really blew up the concept of punk fashion with a Japanese touch. Of course, if you're familiar with the manga, the punk subculture, the fashion, the spirit, including the Vivienne Westwood pieces, play a large part in the series. The blending of more classic punk items with the more cutesy ones eventually evolved the look into something very uniquely Japanese. Now let's get back to our Miku figure. We can see that she does take some inspiration from punk imagery. She has metal detailing in her choker, studded bracelet, chains, and a dark color palette with some leather-like detailing. Even her mismatched shoes give that asymmetrical and anti-conformist vibe too, if you want to get deep about it. But that's kind of where the similarities end. She looks a bit too polished and too put together. She more so embodies a different subculture altogether, more of a streetwear, cyberpunky vibe. Especially with that oversized, sporty jacket hoodie thing. It could have been a leather jacket, a distressed band tee, something with pins, patches, anything like that. And instead of the bright orange accent color, it would have been cool to incorporate a pattern, something like plaid. At least the other color variant gave us the lime green, which is somewhat closer, maybe? Clearly, this is some sort of in-between, maybe more Japanese-esque, punk-inspired, but with more soft and cutesy elements approach. But we've seen glimpses of a more edgy, punky Miku. Take a look at some of her Project Diva modules, including the mods. They're more stylized and layered in their references to punk roots. This figure was designed by artist Popman3580. Their style definitely leans more soft and cutesy with almost a Ghibli-like quality. Ultimately, this figure kind of suffers the same issue as the Lolita one. If you call something punk, it better be punk and not a watered down version of it. But if you ignore the name, it's by no means a bad figure. In fact, it's a cute, well-made prize from a collector's standpoint. It just doesn't feel authentic to the punk concept. When a fashion line takes inspo from real-life subcultures, it's a huge opportunity to educate and respect the history. Otherwise, it feels a little hollow. But on the other hand, Miku is a virtual pop singer, not a 1970s London punk rocker. So this remixed punk aesthetic could be seen as more fitting towards her character. So is this Miku a total flop? Or should we just enjoy it for what it is? A more cutesy, vaguely punk-inspired take? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Our next video in this series will be country, and this one seems to be a little more well-liked in the community, so look out for that. Be sure to leave a like and comment down below, and with that, we will see you next time. Bye!